Hello. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
How are you doing today, Janny?
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's another day.
It's just the two of us this week.
Oh my God.
There's no small children running around. Or
out of
not small
control.
children, huge children running
She has
around.
so much energy.
Yeah, she really blew up the podcast last week. It was more than I was expecting.
I could take it. You keep wanting to do a longer podcast, but I'm done. I can't. It's too much.
But you're not gonna cut us off today because
Okay,
we have
I'll
a
try.
lot to talk about. I don't even know what exactly we're gonna talk about, but I know we always have a lot to talk about. It's kind of amazing. Being together for 20 years.
20 years.
And you still want to talk to me about lots of different things?
Every day.
What's on your mind today?
Work.
Yeah.
And, you know, some sad things. My friend Vanessa has passed away. She passed away maybe 3 months ago. And her celebration of life is tomorrow. Well, starts tomorrow into Sunday. You know, leave it to the Gen X's to rebrand funerals. It's a celebration of life.
Yeah. I know nobody has a funeral anymore.
No.
Like it's
Nobody wants to hear that word.
yeah. I know Taylor said it as he was getting on the bus. He was like, my mom's have to go to a funeral. And I was like, whoa, that sounds real different than the way that we've been talking about it. But, you know, he needs it to be like really straightforward for his friends. So
Yeah. Now, her husband is doing a really cool thing, though. It's going to be at a Buddhist monastery in upstate New York. I'm kind of excited to go there. It's kind of, they do one in the fall and one in the spring, and it's a spring ceremony for those who have passed. So she's not going to be the only one being honored. There's going to be several other people. So we kind of be interesting to be around that. And it's open to the public. So like anyone can come to these ceremonies. It'll be really interesting.
it's really beautiful. You know, it's like a really open, because a lot of times the problem with funerals is that they're very closed and they're, I mean, rightly so, very serious, but to have it be open and be part of I've never been to a Buddhist monastery before, have you?
No.
Have it be part of this, I don't know that religion even that well. I don't know how they would represent this. I think the only funerals I've been to are Catholic or Christian in nature. And, but I feel like to have that just be a celebration of spring too, is just kind of like, it's a neat way to characterize like life and death. Yeah.
No, it's really interesting. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that she's gone. She's in her 40s. She was in her 40s, same age as us.
Yeah, having people our age pass.
Early.
Yeah, early. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No, it's okay.
I always do.
I'm used to it.
But yeah, just having people our age pass away is new.
Yeah, it's like I was talking about this with another friend where there's something that happens in your 40s and you just start thinking about death more. It's like, you know, your 20s, you're like invincible, like nothing's ever going to happen to me, no matter how many bad things I do to my body.
I'm going to hurt myself on purpose over and over again.
See how long I last. And then your 30s, you're like, all right, well, like you have your shit together a little bit more, but you know, you're not thinking about death yet. And then like something happens in your mid 40s and you're like, okay, I have kids now. What happens if I die? And like, you know, and more people around you are passing away, and it's hard, it's weird.
I was thinking about that as I was walking the dog this morning, and that it's like you almost get better at the skill of dealing with death, like, which makes like no sense in a way for me, but also just like the more you go through it, the more you start to understand it. And then it kind of gets scary because your mortality just gets really close, and you realize that maybe we're planning for different things, not necessarily planning for like 30 plus years. You're planning for like you and I have like 13 years before we're maybe going to retire, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just like all of a sudden that starts to feel like really short, and you're just like, I only have 13 years left, you know, to work, you know, right? But not to live. But it's just so different feeling that you're looking at the latter half instead of the first half. And that's an interesting transition.
Yeah, let's not talk about death so much.
You know, okay, you're done now?
Yeah, I'm done.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah. Let's talk about, you want to hear the memories.
I want to hear about Vanessa, because the stories when we first met, can you picture that the stories are what Janny's going to start telling you. This is what she started telling me when I first met her. And I'm like, who are you? Like, who are these friends? And how are they so creative? And why wasn't I doing these fun things in my office?
I don't know. We were absolutely insane. And I can't believe none of us got fired or caught.
Good for you. Good job. That's an accomplishment.
This was like my first job. I won't disclose where it was, but you could probably find it online. We were on top of a in a skyscraper. We called it City X in our blog. Well, I didn't write the blog. Our other friend, wrote the blog. I won't say his name because I feel like he would be mad if I used his name.
Well, but what year is this too?
Oh my God, it was 2000.
The year 2000.
The year 2000.
Do you remember that?
What is that? Mystery Science Theater?
Conan O'Brien.
The
Y2K thing that in the year 2000. Oh my God,
yeah.
so funny.
Yeah, 2001.
And you're in Midtown Manhattan in one of the big buildings.
Big buildings. And it was a very high profile company. And, we had our own office, and it's like 3 web designers sitting in an office by ourselves. We had a TV, very fancy.
You obviously shared an office with
I don't know
people.
why we needed a TV. Like we were,
you didn't.
We designed sweepstakes for advertisers to be served out there and collect data. But yeah, 3 creatives. We had a little mini couch. I don't even know how we got that either.
This is like a dorm room.
Yeah. Well, when I first started, I was kind of a freelancer, and then they hired me full time. And that was another group that I was in an office with, and they called it the Romper Room. So eventually, it got reorged, and that's when I met Vanessa, and I'll call him Creator 1. She was 0.5 because she was so small. She was really thin. She was short and thin and small. And it was just like, we used to all joke because we could like take her and put her in our pocket because she was so little.
But she was one of those little people though that were like, not little people, like she's
fierce.
She's like, she was like petite.
Yes.
But like fierce.
Petite, yes. And like such a great designer that I'm like, wow, maybe I would be a good designer if I actually went through the actual art program the proper way, but that's another story. So Vanessa, really great artist. I shared, it's your formative years. You're in your early 20s, right? And we just created this bond. It got to the point where, you spend 40 hours plus, because, back then, we didn't believe in vacations because we had to work hard and make a lot of money. And we really wanted to prove ourselves. So we're probably working like about 50 to 60 hours in the office, not getting paid overtime. And we just spent so much time together. Mm-hmm. And, I don't even think we went out because we were just always in the office having fun.
Well, if I had an office like that, I don't think I would go out.
They like got to know me so well. They bought me a 3D R2-D2 puzzle that I started to just do in the office.
Of course.
While I was doing work. And I would like take breaks from doing web design and just start putting this 3D puzzle together. They didn't help me or anything. I just did it by myself, and they're all watching me and laughing. And like my boss would come in and he'd just look at me and then just walk right out.
Because like by today's standards, I feel like that would be okay. It's like you're working, you're taking a mental break, doing a puzzle. But back then they're like, what are you doing? Get back to work. Yeah,
but he couldn't really say anything because I always got my work done. Everything was always on deadline, if not sooner.
Yeah.
So I always got it done. So he kind of just let us we all got it. We got all our work done always. We were never late in our work. And so, one day I went on vacation. I had I left my suitcase. You're not supposed to leave. Have you left your suitcase with anyone else but yourself in the past, like before boarding this plane? I totally did. I left it in the office and I was like going out for lunch and I came back only to find while on vacation, they had photoshopped me in like these random places of photos that they found, like on a beach with a total white family, like going like this, and like me with like a scuba diving outfit, like scuba diving in the middle of the ocean. And there were these little cutouts that I found in an envelope. I think I was in Puerto Rico. I was going to Puerto Rico with Pepe and Margie and Fanny. And I found these. I was just like, these guys are nuts. I can't believe I left my suitcase with them for so long. So
I mean, you're lucky it wasn't worse.
I know.
It feels like.
I
I'm like,
know,
that's cute.
So, I mean, that's how well we knew each other, right? So I come back from vacation, and on top of her computer is this big teddy bear. And I was like, oh, okay, she's just into stuffed animals. I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, you're bringing your teddy bear here? Like, just messing around with her, joking around. And she's like, yeah, don't touch it, though. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna touch your teddy bear.
Wow.
Okay. Like, it was big. It was like...
How big was it? Like the one you went on a carnival?
Two of my heads, like, big, right? And it's just the ass of a teddy bear staring at me in the face. And I didn't think anything of it, and like, whatever. So I was with my friend Russ, and he needed to print something out. So I was like, all right, let's just go to our office. And it was like a weekend. So, you can get in because you've got your key card. And so we go in, and I'm like, oh, my computer's on. Oh, but Vanessa's is on. So I go on her computer. I'm like looking around on her desktop because her screensaver's on. And
also back then we didn't have any password
no.
protection.
No passwords.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was just on.
Wow.
Yeah, totally terrible. I could have done really bad things, but obviously I wouldn't because we're such good kids.
Yes.
So I'm like, all right, let's go print your thing out. Give me your whatever floppy disk, probably at the time. I don't even remember. It might have been a USB. But Russ was like, why is there like your name is on a folder? I was like, oh, that's weird. Let me double click it. And so I double click it, and I'm like,
dun, dun, dun.
There's like photos of me. And Russ is like, I think that there's like, it's like fuzzy around it.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's the fucking teddy bear. I go into the teddy bear, I pick it up, I'm like feeling around, and it's out of the butt of a teddy bear. I reach in.
Gross.
And I find a webcam, and they're big back then, right? So
Yeah,
it's
they're
like
not,
a big
it's not like the little things
No.
now. It's like a baseball.
These guys fucking cut out. They cut out a teddy bear, pulled enough stuffing out to somehow fit this thing, and then sew it back together so that you could. So much fucking effort.
This entire thing is like,
I can't. Yeah. Go
that's
ahead.
a lot
What
of
were you
effort.
gonna say?
No, I just because it keeps going from there. Like this entire thing is so much effort.
So the best was like, so they had this like comment board, right? So anybody could write like.
Wait, but tell everyone what they were doing. So they were
recording
videotaping you.
They were They didn't. So this is hilarious because this is how high tech we were and nerdy. They were like, we didn't do streaming because we didn't want to get caught because we were going through the servers of the company.
Oh my God, amazing.
So they did a 7-second frame refresh. So every 7 seconds, something new would pop up. Somebody apparently happened to be on it because somebody wrote, "The jig is up. She found the camera."
On the camera. Wow. So you were like a webcam star in like 2001?
2001. Yeah, we won some Webby award, like webcam awards.
Stop it.
We had about 160,000 views, like people, like users, unique users.
Especially for back then on a 7-second delay. Like who's like refresh? What's she doing now? Refresh. It's like so crazy. Like they have to like wait.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
And what were you doing while they were videotaping?
Well,
You're just working?
No, I was just working. I had headphones. I was doing my puzzle. I was
thrilling.
They also recorded me at times because I would have my headphones on and I would sing.
Oh my
God.
Great,
wonderful, thanks guys. And then I whined a lot. They called me Janny Wine too at one point. Out of Genuine, the band. That I mean,
singer, I get it, and like
it.
Everyone who's of our age will probably get it, and then no one else.
Well, everybody's gonna look up Genuine, and then but they called me Januine. Yeah, I whined a lot, and then so it became JannyCam TV. They made merch. They had mugs. I believe Pepe still has his mug.
Wasn't there like a hand drawn like logo of you smiling?
There's a caricature of me. And it had about, I think, 20 or 30 different moods of Janny. They started creating a video game get Janny to work, because I would always come in at like 10, maybe 10:30 at times. Get Janny. Will Janny come in time to work? Get Janny to work on time.
Oh my God.
They didn't end up finishing it, I think, because we had to work, but.
I think this is when like the younger generations think that it's just them, but it was totally us too. Like we were just like, it's hard to go to work at 9 o'clock. Like nobody wants to do that.
Nobody does.
And apparently you didn't. So.
Well, it's not like I didn't put my 40 hours a week though. Like,
no, you'd stay till like 10. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's why they never like reprimanded me or anything. I still got a raise every year.
I think we need
for
to.
the 2 years I worked there.
We need to see the hand. You still have it somewhere. Like
I might.
The drawing of you.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'll
we
resurrect
need to pop
it.
that up.
Yeah. For some of this story is probably like a little memory walk down memory lane for some people, but others I know who are listening, you're welcome.
So can you imagine meeting Janny and hearing this? And I'm kind of like this, like today, I'm like, this sounds a little bit like OnlyFans. Like, like you're in a room, like, I'm like, and what else did they do, Janny? But it was very innocent. And it was like, so like early internet days where we were just like, what else can we do with this internet thing? Like it was fun.
Well, I think about like those that you met, those who you meet at work, right? Like those are the people you spend a lot of time together, and college friends, but like something happens when you're in your 20s, you're doing it on your own, you're making it. I'm still really close to a lot of people that I work there.
Yeah.
I may not see them every day, Ann Wang, but
wow,
they are friends for life. They're never going to get rid of me.
Yeah. No, I think that there is a formative, like that's a great word, because like college kind of makes sense because you're coming out of your home and then you're thrown into college and you're like, okay, these people are my friends forever. But then there's like another like throwing into the fray that happens after college. And I talk to the students about it a lot, where like seniors graduating, it's like, this does feel like you are jumping off of a cliff because you kind of are like, and you almost like have to accept that and like still move forward, because then there's no structure after college. None. You are then all of a sudden responsible for everything. And I told you how much like I screwed up my 20s, like where I was just like, couldn't even take the trash out of my apartment and couldn't like manage my finances correctly, and just really had to learn by wild trial and error with like a whole lot of error to become an adult. And so that's what you're doing. And then you're becoming an adult with all these other people who are trying to become adults, and they're screwing it all up too. So you're all like, let's go out for martinis, yay, and you just try to figure it out. And you figure it out together, and people do crazy creative things.
God. We did such weird shit. Like, so Matthew, and now there's his name, but I won't say his last name, but he eventually decides to quit, and he's like, screw the man, I'm gonna go move to Hawaii and like do whatever out there. And so he leaves and he goes to Hawaii, and we still keep in touch because like we're all friends and hanging out. And so, but we would just mess with him, like, so we did this weird thing. This is so gross, but I'm totally gonna tell it anyway. We're like, so I was 22, 23, and I had a lot of white hair for some reason. I was these random little white hairs that would just grow, and like, so we decided to start pulling them and putting them in an envelope. This is so gross. But I totally put them in an envelope with Vanessa, and we thought this was so funny. We were laughing about it every single time we did it, and we put it in an envelope with no letter, no anything. We just mailed it to him.
And it's like so...
It's so weird.
It's so creepy, but also very funny.
So hilarious.
Because it fits this world that you all created together, which is like, we're going to do weird stuff, and your unexpected things are going to happen, like the suitcase photos, so it is in line.
I mean, karma, really, for what they built.
And I feel like with Matthew, you guys went like kind of extreme, because you're like, we're trying to get your attention, hair in an envelope.
Oh my God. I would usually like call him and we would just talk for hours, because it was just like a different time zone.
Yeah.
And like he would come visit every once in a while, but eventually we all like go our separate ways. But it was really nice though, because, well, not nice because COVID happened, but I decided to like reconnect with those who I really wanted to stay connected with, right? So I reached out to them and I was like, hey, you're around. You up for a phone call? I haven't talked to you in a long time. What are you up to?
Yeah.
And it was nice to talk to Matthew. And then I was talking to Vanessa, and that's when she told me that she had a tumor.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know how much time I have. And I don't know what's going to happen. But that was a year and a half ago. So I feel really lucky that I at least got to reconnect with her towards the end.
Yeah, and the care that you showed her during that time, I think is really important to talk about because, so like your friend has cancer and they tell you that. So then what do? I think becomes like a really interesting choice for those of us who don't. And it's almost like, what would you want done for you? You know, it's like, that's just the way when my friend had cancer and unfortunately also passed away a few years ago, I was like, what would I want done for me? You know, or how would I want to be treated, you know?
Yeah.
And you checked in with her so often and just sent her like random funny text messages. And like, it wasn't all about cancer and it wasn't all about sadness. It was like, hey, I saw this funny thing and I thought of you, you know, and just like tried to brighten her day. And I just thought that was really cool how you did that.
I would do stupid faces and just send her a photo like, have a great day. Here I am.
Stupid faces of your own, like of yourself?
Oh, like total selfies. Well, because she wasn't on social media that often.
Yeah.
So, and I knew that. So I have like two personal social media feeds that now one, sadly. My friend, my other friend, she's not on Instagram or will do so. I don't even think she has an account. If she wants to look at something, she'll use her husband's. And so
good for these people, by the way. Like, good for you.
I'm like, you better learn it because your kid is going to be on it at some point and you're going to want to you have to figure out how to manage it.
Agree. But I'm also like, stay off as long as you can.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. But where are they going? Yeah. So I have a personal social media channel that I do.
Custom social
media channel, which is great because it's never going to go out anywhere
so
and not
funny.
Everyone can see it. So it's like, you know, that's what text message is for.
It's not an actual social media channel.
No,
it's just a text message.
It's just a text message chain, which at one point I was like, Mel, I can't leave you anymore. Oh, then I'm getting all the names.
Why are you worried about people's names? This is like 10 people listen to this podcast, probably most of them. Like, this is not high security.
All right, shout out to Mel. So she's never going to be on social media. So I sent her things. But I was just like, you need to delete shit off your phone. I can't leave you a stupid message where I say hi or sing a song. Yes, I call her up, and I know she's not going to answer because she has a very busy job, and she has children, so you know, it's a lot. So I'll just leave her random messages that I'll just sing in, but sometimes I can't because it's full. I was like, you have to delete some of my messages.
Yes, obviously.
She's like, I don't want to.
Just no other messages.
None.
She's like a high-ranking HR person. No other messages.
Janny Cam #1.
I mean, so the moral of the story is that I get to live Janny Cam every single day, which I am grateful for all the time. But also, I think the better moral is that you're really good at taking care of people and kind of like giving them what they need in the moment, and that's a really exceptional talent.
I don't know. I mean, I think I do, but who knows?
Well, I think that the sort of like, I don't know, the care that you're showing too with like kind of helping to support this memorial that we're going to tomorrow is really
cry so hard.
amazing. I know.
I feel like I've been holding it in.
Yeah.
I've been holding like every once in a while, like throughout the week, I have had a little like
a little
oh
tiny
no, here
tear.
it comes, it's gonna turn on, and I like choke it down, and I'm like, save it for Saturday.
Oh my God.
What, you don't do that? It's just me?
No, I let my tears out, Jenny.
No.
As you know.
I'm Asian, I'm not allowed.
This is a cultural difference that we have, because and even with the kids, we're like, it's okay to cry, and you're like, yes, it is okay to cry. Definitely. Now,
I mean,
for you.
You know.
Yeah.
I need a tissue. I feel like I've got.
Okay, bye. Are you gonna? You can cry. You can cry if you need to.
It's my allergies.
Don't believe her. Yeah, sure, it's allergies. Definitely. That's what they all say.
I see you. Rolling your eyes.
I think too that we did a good decision on how we're managing the kids with this memorial tomorrow and Sunday. So I had a brilliant idea that I'm very excited about. Where we were in that, like, how are we going to do this? Like, parental logistics, just ongoing, forever, endless parent logistics, as those who are parents know, or those who are caretakers of small children know. That, so how are we going to do this? Are we going to bring the kids? Are we not going to bring the kids? Taylor his wonderful neurodiverse brain does not love sitting somewhere for 3 hours in a monastery where he needs to be quiet and can't have electronics. So
like he can run around, but no soccer ball, which that was just.
Yeah. And that works. Like we can get him to do those kinds of things for like 20, 30 minutes, like in small doses. But if it's a real chunk of time, then that's going to be
hours.
It's going to be not great because it's just, he then starts to go like down, down, down and like usually tears ensue. So,
I was thinking like if he came, would he feel kind of the calmness though?
He might have.
And I was curious. I was going to be a little curious if he came, would he feel the calmness and feel the energy around it?
Because his empathy gets going.
Like,
yeah. When we did the celebration of life from my aunt, he definitely did get into that zone. Also, all the older kids were like very serious, very focused on remembering her and doing like they almost like showed him how to do it. Yeah. But this would be very different, I think, because it would be like a unfamiliar crowd, and but I do think he would have gotten down with it for a little bit. But our solution was that he's not coming.
Well, and he didn't want to miss his first soccer game.
Yes, so his very first soccer game of the season.
All winter he's been looking forward to it.
Yeah. And so you have to make those decisions. Like, would it be important to show him how a memorial like this works? Yes, like because then that is sort of like important for his life. And to be together as a family would have been nice. But also, there's like, sometimes you have to like cut the losses a little bit too and say like, this is better for Taylor to go to his soccer game, which he's really excited about doing, and have a moment where my parents are going to take him for the weekend. So he gets like alone time with BB and Granville, which also means like grandparent total flexibility time where he gets like spoiled and he gets to like kind of do what he wants to do. Cookies, and games, and he just really loves. It's sweet because he really loves being with them, and he loves like showing them like what a good boy he is, and that grandparent attention is just different. Yeah. So he's gonna sleep over with them. He's almost 11. He gets his own time, so that's good. And then Evelyn
gets alone time,
which was demonstrated on the podcast last week. How savvy she is, and so she gets alone time with us, and so she's going to come to the memorial. And oddly, our 6-year-old is just extremely patient and understands and can go for those long stretches with like kind of like that time. And I think she also will want to help. She loves to set up. She loves to do events just like her mama. So it's going to be a good compromise.
Yeah, all kids are so different. Yeah. Every kid is so different. But these two, they love each other so much, but they are so different.
It'll be interesting because they really aren't away from each other all that much, too. I wonder if they'll miss each other.
Oh my God, we have to FaceTime him.
Yeah. My favorite is calling Taylor. When Taylor answers the phone, he's like, hello? Like, it's just, like, it's this magical device that has called him. And he doesn't have his own phone. So the only time we've ever called him is like the 2 times we have left him by himself in the house for like a very short amount of time where we are very close by. But like calling him is so funny because it's like calling our like little man, hello.
Our little man. Yeah. He's not so little.
He's not little. Oh my God, those shoulders are big.
I really think in a year he's going to be taller than me.
I agree. I think that he's going to be.
Maybe 2.
His donor was 6'2". I'm 5'9" almost. So he's going to be tall. And also Evelyn is literally like a full head above everyone in her class too.
She's so tall.
So it's just sort of like, all right.
And her donor was 5'10".
Yeah. Right. Which is like, like
still tall.
Kind of tall. Yeah. But I don't know. She's already kind of shooting up. So, but then there's that correction where like the girls shoot up and then the boys finally catch up. And so we'll see where she ends up.
Oh my God, she towers over so many of the boys. Yes. like literally at least one full head taller than them.
When they're playing and running, she's just like, like Wonder Woman next to them. I'm just like, oh my God, yes. It's so sweet. Yeah, I know. So formative years. Life and death, it's like, we talk with the kids a lot about, not a lot, but like when it comes up, we do talk about death very honestly about what happens. Because
it's important.
Yeah, it's just not a secret, sadly. It happens.
No, I wish somebody talked to me about it. They were like, oh, so-and-so died.
Yeah.
Or they actually, I don't even think they would tell me. And like, I would just go to this thing.
Yeah, all of a sudden you were at an event where like everyone was sad.
Sad and crying. Yeah. And then it was also weird because, my dad's family is still out in Taiwan. So, he'd be like, oh, grandma passed. And I'm like, wait, what? Or grandpa passed. I'm like, wait, what? And like, I think he went out and we all didn't go.
Yeah. It's like a separation kind of between the...
So I never really felt it as much. Probably not until my grandparents on my mom's side passed. That was it was very intense, but I was glad to be there. But that was like probably the first time I really saw my mom in a different way.
Yeah, just as like a person. You saw it, like your mom's a daughter. Yeah.
That like blew out, right?
That blows my mind now. Years later.
Right.
I know. I think
my
that
mom's so hardcore.
I can't see your mom as anyone other than a very strong woman who researches stocks all day long. Every single day, and makes really good moves, like on herself, her family. Yeah, now. I mean, everybody has to learn, but she, like, I see her as nothing but strong. So I can imagine how that's like a lot to see her not that way.
For those of you who don't know, she's a retired nurse turned stock day trader,
and she's tough as nails.
Just a little.
Yeah. Well,
she's so soft, though. She's like soft like a teddy bear, too, though, in there.
She's soft with you, which is always really interesting, like how you get her to laugh. And Janny kind of just like gets in there.
I don't know what it was, like, and how I came up with this tactic, but she used to get so mad at me, and I would just make her laugh to the point where she wouldn't be mad at me anymore, and she can't be mad at me because she's laughing herself.
And my favorite is that Evelyn uses this tactic on you now.
God.
Like, it's like, I don't think she's even ever seen you do that, but she just somehow like inherently knows, like, if I just get her to laugh, like, then I'm not in trouble anymore.
I don't know. It's funny. It's funny how like the bond changes as you grow, right? Because like my mom didn't come to our wedding. Mm-hmm. She disagreed with our wedding, but since then she's invited you into this family.
Yeah. I feel like
even like day after the wedding.
I was just gonna say that. Like that's always my like conundrum about that situation, because it was very hard and it was hurtful. Like it hurt that she didn't want to come, but she also was very vocal about it. Like it's not like she was like, "Oh, I'm not coming."
Oh, she still is.
Yeah, I know. She was like, "I'm not coming, and here's why." So it was like I would say that for me it was surprising that there was so much like communication about it, and that your dad did come, and that her parents both came.
Oh my God.
And we're like in our wedding.
90-year-old dad, we were celebrating his 90th birthday, and so all my cousins came.
Right.
And her sisters and brothers came.
And so, like, the way that Janny's family works is that there's discussion about that. Your mom made her decision, and that was sort of final, and there was nothing we were going to do about it. We weren't going to change her mind. So we sort of, like, lived with that.
Even my dad. My dad did come to the wedding, walk me down the aisle, and, like, I can't imagine the conversations they would have about it.
No, because then the conversations they would have in front of us were like, "You're so stupid. Why aren't you going?" And I'm just like... What, I mean, like, my family doesn't talk to each other like this, like, even under good circumstances. Oh, but then the day after the wedding, we were at your parents' house, and because we were like, we got married in Connecticut, we drove to New Jersey, like, it's all like in the tri-state area, and your mom says to me, "You looked beautiful in your dress." And I'm just like, what? Where am I?
My dad is shoving the photos in front of her. Look, it was beautiful. Look how amazing Angela. It was.
It was so beautiful. You missed it. Mommy's so stupid. She missed it. I'm like, what?
I just like that. I love my family. They're
like
amazing.
It's out there. It's certainly not festering. You're not like pushing it down. It's it's out. You made the bad call, and I sort of like there's a part of me that admires that she sort of stuck to her guns amidst all that. But then there's also this part of me that's like, does she feel like she made the bad call? Like that it wasn't the right call. I think maybe a little bit of both. Like it's not, life is imperfect.
No, I think she's like, well, what's done is done. Let's move on.
Well, your parents are very much like, that's life. So.
Oh my God. I think that's what, like when my dad was telling me that somebody passed, he's like, that's life, Janny. Yeah. That's life.
Moving on.
Like, okay.
And given their upbringing and what they went through, and like
totally different.
The older I get, the more I just start to try to understand more of that like your dad describes a family where he had to like fight for food because there were so many siblings, and like if you didn't fight for the food, you didn't eat. And so that leads to a different life perspective.
No, well, he was sleeping on the floor at his uncle's to go to high school. Like he was I think 11 or 12. Yeah. I'm like, wait, what? So because they wanted him to have a better education because they lived out in the country. My grandparents owned rice farms. They farmed rice, which that's no wonder I want to farm. I know.
It's in you.
It's in me. It's what I always wanted. I need to tend to the garden. So it's interesting to see, like, when he was so young, he had to fend for himself and figure it out.
And they had just like so much sacrifice and compromise, like on, you know, like that was their life. Like, was like, of course you're going to sleep on the floor at your uncle's house to get a better education. Like, of course you're going to move to America and take the job or the sort of like educational opportunity. And then you're going to drive across country with your wife and small baby and camp, right? Remember they described how they would camp?
There's a photo of, and they had like, my brother and sister were probably like Evelyn Taylor's age probably. And I was a baby. And they were moving from Seattle to New Jersey because my dad got a job at Merck thanks to his, I think his professor or his friend from somewhere, I can't remember, but he got him a job at Merck. And so, but they didn't have a lot of money, so they did camping, which is why they like laugh at us when we want to go camping for fun, because they're like, you must be poor, because that's what we had to do to go across. We couldn't afford a hotel. Just so you know, like, he got his PhD, got all the things, worked for Merck forever, and you know, now that my mom is a stock trader and did really well, they are living happily in California and in one of the most expensive cities. But you know, it's crazy. They've worked really hard for everything they have, and I keep telling them, like, just go spend your money. Don't save it. I mean, give it to the grandchildren if you want, but like, we're good.
Yeah,
we're doing okay. We'll figure it out. If I have to, I'll go cook in a kitchen again. But you know,
but if you
enjoy your money that you work so hard for. But they can't get away from that, right? There's that frugality that they're used to for their whole life, that they still do it, like, to the point of wanting all that free shit from the Vegas casinos. And they still have, like, my mom will not throw away a neon pineapple sign. What the hell do you need that for? You do not need that. It has no sentimental value except that you got it for free.
My favorite was when your parents lived in Las Vegas. And so they lived there for how many years? Like 7, 8 years?
Yeah.
And so they moved to this big, beautiful house from New Jersey, you know, like instead of like
construction,
instead of downsizing like people do when they're retiring, you know, they like upsized. They had like a 5-bedroom like palace of a house. And the first couple times we went there, I just remember going into the dining room and it's just like wall to wall alcohol. And I'm like,
they don't even drink.
Your parents don't drink. Like, what are they doing? Are they okay? Like,
know.
Are they becoming like booze hounds here in Las Vegas? But like, I knew they weren't, right? Because they're just very like, you're pretty strict about that. And your dad was like, look at all these things I got for free. And like, Taylor was a baby. Do you remember when Taylor was a baby? And your dad made us stop at the casino so that he could get his free gift.
Oh my God.
Which was like a t-shirt or something.
No, it was I will never forget it. It was a Palm Casino towel.
That was what it was like.
Which I think we actually used.
I mean, fine, we ended up using it. But it was like, I'm standing in a smoky casino with our baby, so that we can pick up a towel. But it was very important to him that we do that.
But also get the free buffet because they had coupons.
I know, and they loved those buffets so much. But
hated being in
but
that
then
casino.
they finally realized that there's way too much salt and it's not good for them. But I wonder too, like, I just, like you said, the frugality. But then there's almost like this like indulgence, like opulence that started to happen in Las Vegas, where it was just like, we are living the life. Like, we have made it. We are successful. We're going to eat all this food. It's as much food as we could possibly ever want. And then we get to like basically kind of like gamble over here.
Right.
Which they did very structuredly, I would say. Like they were very careful with their gambling. But then they also like, they just kind of were really happy, like being like, we did it. Like, we made it. But then I wonder, it's like, so you made it, then what?
I know.
You know?
I know.
And then they decided to be close to your brother, which is a good call, and that's why they moved. And also, Las Vegas, for people who are older, I don't recommend. Like, 1:15, like, every day.
Oh my God, it was so hot. They end up being inside all the time.
You just hide in air conditioning. Like, you're jump into the next air conditioned unit, you know?
I'll be curious. Like, our friend Zizi is moving there, and I'm like, I don't know. Are you going to be okay out there?
Although there was fun times where we went to like all the different restaurants on the strip and like tried to like get to the ones that were like really good and not like fake tourist good. And we went to go see that magician, that Shin Lim.
Yes, that was so
Is
good.
that how you say his name? Shin Lim, I think. And we took the kids to see Blue Man Group. I think that was like peak Las Vegas for us with the kids, was trying to take the kids to Blue Man Group, and Taylor fell asleep during it.
Well, it's such like the sound is so rhythmic and
loud though.
So loud.
But he just started like so funny.
Like, what did we must have done?
And I think Evelyn was just like, when is it gonna be over?
Yeah, it was like just like 20 minutes too long.
Sensory overload, big
Yeah.
time. But then when they do the toilet paper at the end, it was worth waiting for. So, but I will say I went to go see Blue Man Group in those formative years in my 20s when I had no money to be doing that, but I did it anyway. And it was so fun because it was such like this like alternative, cool, different show. And I the sort of like then packaged version that we saw in Las Vegas, like the sanitized like it wasn't actually toilet paper, it was streamers, you know, but like in New York, it was like reams of toilet paper that went through the audience. I don't know why that matters, but it was just like, it wasn't the same. It wasn't authentic. So
yeah, you're not in this tiny crowded theater. I went to that theater too.
You remember, right? You were like elbow to elbow, and everyone's like, what's going to happen next? You know, and
you know, back in the day when we didn't know each other.
I know. It's funny to think that we had these New York lives before.
We should tell that story next episode.
Yeah, how we met.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Talk about formative years.
No, but like the secret version, like the little details that we never told anybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even know what those are, but I'm excited to find out.
Tune in next week.
Oh,
is this enough time?
I don't know.
Where are we?
No, I feel you wrapping us up.
Yeah, because I gotta work.
She's gotta work. You guys, it's time. It's 9:30, so it's time to.
What time do we start?
Like around 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Why?
I don't know.
Before 9?
Yeah.
These are the arguments that we have, everyone. These are the arguments that I stop in their tracks because they don't matter.
Always do matter. This is why everything we do is successful, because we talk about everything.
Yeah, every detail.
All right.
Okay. Well, to formative years, and hey, to Vanessa.
To Vanessa. Bye.
Bye.
Xanadu.